People always ask me, Deirdre, with LinkedIn, how often should I post? They say 2 to 3 times a week. Pardon me now, but fuck that. 80% of the people who are following you on LinkedIn won't see half the content that you produce anyway. So post every day. Welcome to the Master Your Business podcast, where we bring you the best in branding, marketing, and customer experience strategies. I'm Deirdre Martin, your host. And if you've been asking yourself how to level up your growing business, your marketing, your customer experience, or how to make more of an impact with your brand, this show is for you. You'll discover actionable tips and insights to help businesses just like yours gain clarity and illuminate the path to success. Train with industry experts, learn sales and marketing strategies, business and mindset hacks, and be inspired by authentic entrepreneurship stories. As your host, I share the no-nonsense advice that accelerated my journey from boring bank manager to industry thought leader in marketing and customer experience. Learn how I made the leap into the world of six-figure success, digital courses, keynote speaking, and co-authoring a #1 bestseller in just 1 year. Together with interviews from industry experts, this show ensures you're seen, heard, and hired by your ideal clients. Join our growing community of subscribers and let the Master Your Business podcast empower you to tackle your most significant challenges on your path to business success. Don't miss out. It's your turn to learn from the best and master your dream business. This week in Business Accelerator, my group program, we were talking about content strategy versus sales strategy. And when you're showing up on social media, what do you do? And how do you know what's the right type of content to post? Never mind the format. So really what you've got to do is take things back a level. You've got to look at what are your goals for social media, not just for the week or the day, but think about what is your business goal for the month. So right now we're in the middle of April. What is your goal for the rest of April into the middle of May? And think about, okay, if I want this to be my end result, how can I reverse engineer that? So what you've got to do is look at, what is my goal? Do I want to get more followers? Do I want to get more engagement? Do I want to drive traffic to my website so I can get more sales? Am I about to promote something? Do I want to create a bit of hype around that? You've got to figure out what is your goal and then reverse engineer it. So let's break down each of those types of goals and what you might create in order to do that. So the first thing is, let's say if you want to build more followers, if you want to grow your audience on LinkedIn, this is what you've got to do. You've got to create content that's shareable, stuff that's value packed, always, irrespective of whether it's promotional, it should still be value packed. And that might be something that's eye-catching. It could be a quote or a snippet that other people will resonate with and want to share. Stuff that's very niche specific is really good as well to attract followers, because if I'm talking to coaches who want to exceed 6 figures, make over 100K in 2024, I'm speaking to a specific demographic of people. If I'm talking to people in the construction industry who want to take their business to beyond 45 million in 2024, 2025, I'm speaking to a specific demographic. If I'm speaking to a woman in midlife who is trying to start a business, I'm again speaking to a very specific demographic. So the more specific you are, the easier it is for you to build your followers, because you're talking to a tailored audience. And when people hear their names called out, it sparks their curiosity. When you spark their curiosity, you capture their interest and they're more inclined to follow you for more content along those lines. Make sense? Okay, so that's the first one for building followers. The second one is for building brand awareness. When you're looking to build brand awareness, focus on who you are, what you stand for, what your values are. Tell your story. And the story isn't about you. You're the guide in the story. Your customer is the hero of the story. So you can share examples about problems you've solved with clients. You could share testimonials or case studies and things like that, because they demonstrate who you are, what you do, and it builds awareness around the solutions that you provide so that you can help people transform, get great results, and achieve success in their business. So that's how you build brand awareness. You're focusing on problems, solutions, what you do, your backstory, and that sort of stuff. And what's really great to include in there are things around your values, how you demonstrated a particular value. It could be one of your values is having fun, and that your clients have fun when they work with you. It doesn't all have to be serious in business. You can weave elements of fun and humor into your story. That also helps to build brand awareness. It creates a perception of what your brand is about. Let's say you want to get more engagement. Now, this is an interesting one right now because algorithms are changing all of the time on LinkedIn, and people are telling me, Deirdre, my content is not getting any reach or it's not getting any engagement. So for engagement, what you want to do is share selfies. Yep, they work. You want to share stuff that will encourage interaction. You want to share personal stories, your struggles, what got you here today. So that's a different story than the brand awareness. The brand awareness is about your customer story. Your personal story might be why you started your business, the things that you've learned in your journey whilst getting to where you are right now here today. It could be things that are behind the scenes in your business. So what you're working on right now, it could be showing a picture of your desk. It could be if you've got a dog lying by your feet, that this is the company you have in your home office. Whatever, if you're on your way to a meeting with a client, share those kinds of things. That's the sort of stuff that will really get engagement on your content. And then be conscious at the end of your posts, just for each of these things. If it's followers, make your call to action. Follow Deirdre Martin for more content like this, and even get really specific if it's niche related. Follow Deirdre Martin for marketing tips for coaches, right? Get really specific. If it's to build brand awareness, it could be around save this post for later. It could be around take action around this. It could be around repost this to your network if you know somebody who might value this, something like that, or tag a friend who's interested in this sort of thing. And if it's for engagement, and the whole point of engagement is to encourage interaction, then you want to have content that asks a question potentially, and that gets people sharing their opinions. A great way to do that is if you're bold enough, and I really hope that you are, or that you get a bit daring or courageous, ask a provocative question, something that is going to be opinion dividing, that you'll have some people sitting on this side of the fence and other people sitting on that side of the fence. That's great stuff to get conversation going. It doesn't need to be controversial, but maybe a little bit provocative, right? Polls can be good as well. If you create a poll on LinkedIn, you can use that to help get some engagement going as well on your content. So that's followers, awareness, engagement. Now, other times you might want to promote stuff, and that's absolutely okay. But in those first three topics, you absolutely, no matter what, are adding value in some way. And that value can be around helping other people get to know you, like you, love you, trust you, all of the things. But in there, you're weaving in stories that they can learn from and benefit from. But the promotional stuff, you don't want to be doing promotional stuff all of the time. And I see this so often with companies who are maybe marketing in some of the older ways, and they haven't really come around to this way of marketing, which is very much value driven and customer centered, which basically means you're showing up to serve and give as much value as possible to people who follow you, right? Because people don't like to be sold to. So if you're showing up all the time saying, aren't we the great lads? Aren't we the great company over here? Aren't we fantastic? People are going to be like, oh, that's just boring. They're never going to read your stuff. Your engagement is definitely going to tank. Your reach is going to tank because people aren't interested in that. If they can learn something from you, if you can entertain them in some way, and people are freaking nosy, let's be honest. They want to see what's behind the scenes. They want to see what the kitchen is like, what kind of coffee you drink, what kind of dog you have. People want to know this stuff. What kind of car you drive, what kind of handbag you have, right? Seriously, what kind of shoes you have. Yeah, I'm not going to show you. I was considering it there for a minute. I'm wearing my Adidas Sambas under the desk here right now. No slippers, but yeah, Adidas Sambas. So that's the kind of stuff people want to see. That's the stuff that helps them build a relationship with you. Whereas if you're constantly pushing for sales, the last thing you're going to get is sales. So when you want sales, only, and I like to follow the 80-20% of the rule. 80% of the time, give value. So if you post 5 days a week on LinkedIn, 4 days of the week, give value, build relationships. 1 day of the week, ask for something in return. And when you're asking for something in return, that one thing in return could be somebody visits your website. You're directing them off of LinkedIn. Anything that takes them off of LinkedIn or anything that makes them take an action with you or your brand, that is what I call a conversion post. And really what that's about is it's bringing people into your world away from the platform or away from the content. And it could be you want to drive traffic to your website, because on your website, you might have a really great blog. And when they read the blog, you might have something that asks for their email address. And then you're not communicating or engaging with them on borrowed land, because LinkedIn they can remove you, right? They can block you. You can go into LinkedIn jail. But if you've got somebody on your email list, then you can email them 24 days a week or 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if you wanted to. And you have control of that. Maybe every so often you're going to put on a webinar or a masterclass or something like that. When you do those posts, or when you have something like that going on, it's a promotional event, it's okay to maybe tilt the 80-20 balance a little bit more on those occasions. But generally speaking, 80% of the time, your content should be value driven, should be about building your followers, driving engagement, and building brand awareness. The main point with all of those is that what you want to do is always have calls to action. And the call to action has to be direct. Don't dilute it with fiddly stuff. Just get straight to follow me, repost this, DM me, or direct message me, whatever language is right for you. Either way, again, as I said at the start, think about what's your end goal for the end of the month, and then reverse engineer the type of content you're going to create it. And even if it's a case that you're not in a position to bulk create your content, plan out what you're going to create and then create it in the moment, if that works best for you. Because at the end of the day, your posts need to align with your goal. And then in terms of the format, what do you post? A video, a carousel, one of those slide ones? Or do you post a graphic? You've got to see what works best for you. Marketing is an experiment. There are no way to guarantee results for anyone, ever. And anyone who tells you they can, they're freaking lying to you. Seriously. Gary Vaynerchuk has this great book. It's called Jab, Right Hook. And basically what he's saying is consistently jab by giving non-promotional content, by giving value-driven stuff. And that's exactly what I'm talking about doing here. You want to capture new followers and engage them then once they become followers. And you do that 80% of the time, and 20% of the time you convert them. So only do the conversion posts where you're asking people to take action, give you a call, schedule a consultation, visit your website, download your freebie, whatever it is right for you. That's what you want to do only 20% of the time. Okay, I don't come live very often, but I hope you've gotten value in this. This, as I said, was just a snippet of what we covered in this week's Business Accelerator program, where, yeah, messaging is the main thing that we talk about, but we also talk hugely around everything to do with accelerating your business success. So it's much more than messaging. It's brand, it's marketing, it's customer experience, it's tech, it's tools, it's tons of stuff. And so it's great fun. People got great value. And one of the big takeaways from several of the attendees this week was that one of the things that I said was, don't overthink it. At the start, if this is new to you, get out there and just post stuff. Because the more you post stuff, eventually the better you're going to get at it. You're going to start to look at the insights that are coming in on your LinkedIn or wherever you're posting. And you're going to be able to see, this post got me lots of impressions. That means the number of eyeballs in your content. Or this post got me loads of engagements. That means likes and comments. okay, if I want to do a campaign where I'm really trying to grow my following, then I need to do more posts like this one over here that got me loads of eyeballs on my content. It got me impressions. When I want to do an engagement campaign to warm people up before I'm about to offer them something in a promotion, then I'm going to do loads of this engagement stuff because they're now interacting with me. So quality, don't worry about it so much at the start. Just practice posting. Don't let perfectionism hold you back. Just get on with it. And if speaking is where your mojo is at, then do talks like this. If writing is where your mojo is at, then write more content. Go wherever your strength is and just start with that, but try and get into a rhythm of doing it frequently. And people always ask me, Deirdre, with LinkedIn, how often should I post? They say 2 to 3 times a week. Pardon me now, but fuck that. 80% of the people who are following you on LinkedIn won't see half the content that you produce anyway. So post every day. You have a better chance of reaching new people. And as you're growing your connections and your audience, especially if you're on growing your follower, if that's the type of goal or campaign that you're running, you want to be posting frequently so those new people can actually see you. Some of the top influencers on LinkedIn, they post 3 times a day. 3 times a day. And people are like, oh, Deirdre, am I adding to the noise if I post 3 times a week? No, you're not. 80% of the people are not seeing your content anyway. So post as often as you possibly can, but get into the rhythm of posting frequently. Okay, I'll leave it there because otherwise I would talk to you all day about LinkedIn and loads of stuff. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. Talk to you soon.